Boys, reviewing bad comedy is legit the worst thing there is to review. The reason being is because there's only so many times you can watch something and then say, that is not funny. See, that is why bad jokes are offensive. A bad joke is legit offensive because when said joke is being presented to you, your initial response is to look at that and then think, did this guy actually think I was gonna laugh at this? A bad joke is offensive because it's an insult to your intelligence. And Velma, as a TV show, practically has a fetish for offending you with garbage that it thinks is funny. Boys, I wanted part 2 of this review series to be a delve into episode 1 as well as covering this show's humor, but I cannot. This show is such a mess on a basic fundamental level that I can only focus on the comedy aspect and that alone. I really wanted to start off this review series by also getting into what this show's plot is even about, but the narrative of this show is constantly taking a backseat to the adult comedy of this show since it's brash and in-your-face and blunt at damn near all times. Oh yeah, and I'm using the word adult and adult comedy loosely, and I'm using that in air quotes for obvious reasons. The reason being is because, well, actually, it's not just because it's not funny, but actually, I think calling this stuff comedy for adults is a total stretch of the word. One of the biggest selling points of this entire show is that this is an adult reimagining of the Scooby-Doo series. But after watching the first few episodes, I don't buy it. I don't think this shit is for grown adults by any stretch of the imagination or word. I think this shit is for kids. And by the end of the video, I'm hoping you'll understand why. Alright, so the show begins in a locker room with Daphne in it, and, well, okay, right off the bat, like right from the get-go, this show is a complete, well, like I already said, a mess. A genuine mess. And I feel like it's totally ridiculous to microanalyze the living hell out of the very first scene of the show, but it's loaded with so much nonsense that I just cannot help it. So, let me start off with cliff notes, and then I'll dig in deep. Okay? Here we go. It starts off in a locker room shower where Daphne is butt-ass naked. Daphne gets into a random fight with one of her beta female friends while butt-ass naked. Daphne is suddenly attacked by a stranger dressed like a killer. The stranger turns out to be Velma. Reason for attacking Daphne with a blunt object in that outfit completely unknown and/or stupid. Velma stumbles into a dead body in her locker room and everyone thinks that Velma did it because the body was in her locker room. Cue title card, that is the beginning of this show. So, there's a lot to unpack here. And I know what you're thinking. Jack, quickly explain it. So much of that makes no sense and it just sounds like you said all of that out of context just to make the show look bad. And, well, here's the deal. If I explain further and go in depth, the entire scene actually makes even less goddamn sense. Let's do it now. The scene starts off with Daphne minding her own business in a locker room shower. During this, she stumbles into 2 cockroaches humping. Yes. Ha ha ha, isn't that so funny, guys? Isn't that so hilarious and not at all middle school level cringe? Yeah, it's great. It's totally hilarious. You know, it's pretty funny that this show starts off showing you something this juvenile, considering the fact that beforehand, the intro to this garbage was trying to act all intellectually superior and self-aware.
Normally, origin stories are about tall, handsome guys struggling with the burden of being handed even more power. And if they are about girls, it's usually like, hey, what made this hot chick go crazy? So to remedy this, I've decided to finally share the bone-chilling events that drove me to assemble the greatest team of spooky mystery solvers ever. Yeah, it was me, not Fred and his weird sex fan. This is my story, told my way.
Oh, see? Look, guys, this is my story. Pay attention to me, guys. I'm better than the other crappy Scooby-Doo shows. And then it immediately proceeds to show you this brain-dead gross-out humor right off the bat. Yeah, real thought-provoking, bro. Between this show and dumpy-ass Santa Inc., I don't know why people seem to think that adult cartoons should just automatically have garbage like this because it's just an excuse to show off their adult side. Hoo hoo hoo. So f***ing stupid. But hey, it's all okay because after that the show stops being stupid, right? Wrong. Daphne, who in this show is characterized as a super generic stereotypical popular clique alpha female, gets into a random fight with one of her dumbass friends while butt-ass naked. There's a lot to unpack here, and not just in that single sentence alone. Well, you see, it's not dumb enough that the humor of this entire scenario is that underage naked girls are fighting, but the weirdest thing about this is that they try to make jokes commenting about the fact that TV shows that start off with naked girls to keep your attention is stupid? This has me completely effing confused. Can someone explain this to me?
Have you ever noticed how pilot episodes of TV shows always have more gratuitous sex and nudity than the rest of the series?
Oh my god, I have. So true.
That's how we learned what Rachel Brosnahan's boobs look like.
And Don Cheadle's butt.
Well, I, for one, think it's lame.
Agree.
So lame.
The lamest. Oh, I actually kind of love it. Sex sells, and in today's overcrowded market, you need a hook.
The only hook a good show ever needs is good storytelling.
Like, what? I'm not understanding the message here. Is it trying to say like, oh hey, we're doing it, but at the very least we're self-aware of it? Is it trying to say that, oh no, it's okay when we do it because we're on the right political side? See, this is what the hell I'm talking about. Everything in this show is taking a backseat to the comedy of this show because it's in your face and confusing the hell out of you at all times. Boys, legit, I had to watch this stupid shower scene over like 4 times just to get a proper script for it because it was hurting my brain trying to process correctly. Anyway, things get dumber because then a random masked attacker appears and strikes Daphne with a blunt object. Her voice is very filtered and she says this.
And how do you feel about race-blind casting, Daphne?
Well, as an Asian woman, I, think it's cool. I mean, not to oversimplify a thorny issue, but everyone loves it when white people play Jesus or a professional boxer. Why can't it ever go the other way, right?
Again, more weird commentary on top of this raunchy humor. It mixes together like fucking oil and water, and is constantly distracting you throughout the show. After that, the person who is masked reveals herself, and it turns out that it's Velma. What? Why? Okay, to be fair, she does explain in a later scene why she's dressed like this, but it still doesn't explain whacking Daphne with a pipe or whatever the hell that is. Is this supposed to be like, oh hey, this is a twist in the scene? Because why else would someone mask Velma's voice while she was covered up in that outfit? What the fuck am I watching? After that, Velma goes to her locker room and finds a dead body in it, and yeah, whatever, that's how the show starts. Velma needs to clear her name, everyone thinks that she's the killer. Whatever. Now, after discussing that, the only thing I can really know for sure after watching this entire scene is that it's very clear that this show is starting off like this, so it can display to you, the viewers, immediately that this show is gonna be super raunchy and hilarious and crass and etc. I mean, look at how in your face it is about this. But here's the deal. A normal casual viewer is gonna view this completely differently. A normal casual viewer is just gonna think that you're just trying to piss everyone off, taking the Scooby-Doo gang and making them fight butt-ass naked, doing all this weird Wattpad fanfiction level shit, and so on. And honestly, that's what this entire beginning scene feels like, boys. Much like this entire show, the starting scene feels like a really awful animated parody shitpost animation you would expect to stumble into on YouTube Shorts or Newgrounds or some nonsense. But nah, dude, this is a whole ass multi-episode animated series. Okay, so anyway, in another scene later into this episode, Velma stumbles into Fred. Fred, as we discussed, has been modified the most dramatically, and the reason why is to be as insulting and emasculating as possible. His entire character is intentionally designed to be as comedically humiliating as it can.
I'm trying to pull myself together so I can be the man my father expects me to be. And I want to be as manly as him, but since Brenda died, I can't stop crying like a total puss. I'm not hairless, Velma. I haven't finished going through puberty yet. I'm a late bloomer. How else are my features so boyishly delicate? But Father says if people know, they'll laugh and never respect me as the man and unquestioned leader that I am meant to be.
And it's very, very distracting. So distracting, in fact, that once Velma suddenly goes into her stupid contrived backstory about her missing mother, I'm barely paying it any mind. Boys, this is the first episode, right? Obviously, first episodes are going to be introducing the main cast and all their dilemmas, but like I said, this show is more interested in shoving its half meta-commentary, half cringe humor down your throat 90% of the time, so it's really hard to even pay attention to the story that is Velma's dilemma of being framed for murder or her weird, traumatic backstory when you're more focused on wondering why the fuck Fred has been redesigned to be the most pathetic, loser, insecure man-child, wannabe alpha male frat douche with daddy issues, while every other race change in the main cast was done with some form of presumed respect and empowerment. I'll get into Fred later. Honestly, I think I'm gonna do a whole video about him. Once again, this is a perfect example of what the hell I'm talking about. The pacing of this show legit feels like it's stopping dead in its tracks sometimes, just to dump its personal opinions down your throat, and its personal stances towards certain ideologies and types of people. And when it's not that, it's just annoying you with toilet humor. When it comes to jokes or anything outside of the political remarks that are meant to insult certain groups, there is only the most physically wincing, sad, corny ass shit that you would expect to hear as some kind of brain dead remark that you'd expect to hear your friend from way back in 7th grade math class say because he was bored and wanted to get a quick laugh to entertain himself. I mean, look at everything that we've seen so far. Yo, what if there was a Scooby-Doo show where Daphne was naked? Lol, so funny, guys! And then there were 2 cockroaches having sex. LMFAO, totally hilarious, bro. Yo, what if there was a Scooby-Doo show, but instead of making it for kids, it was all bloody and gross? What if Shaggy was black? Lol. The comedy of this show is secondhand embarrassment of the absolute highest order. The issue with Velma is that it suffers from an absolutely horrible condition. Funny enough, it's the exact same condition that Santa Inc. had. It is a horrible disease. A disease that I like to call Amy Schumer syndrome. Amy Schumer syndrome is a special condition amongst most pieces of media and or people trying to be funny. You see, most people want to be humorous and hilarious to other people because they like entertaining themselves and it's a confidence booster for them. Many people also do not have the talent to be funny and humorous at all. So instead of just acknowledging the fact that you're not funny and moving on with your life, you instead either just steal jokes and humor from other people who are actually talented, or you just do really sad gross out humor or stuff that's just offensive. Because, you know, if something is offensive and edgy, that automatically means it's top shelf comedy. Tosh.0. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it all up with this scene right here. This is not the end of episode 1, this is actually an early scene, but honestly, who even cares? This is the last scene that I want to talk about so I can generalize why this comedy is not for adults. So in one scene, Velma has a quick chat with her dad while doing mystery stuff. I forgot the reason, honestly, who cares? Velma's mother is missing because plot, and her father is currently banging some girl who works at a diner. They have a small chat that's supposed to elaborate on the situation, and then this happens.
The baby's kicking. Hashtag get my new camera out of my bag, Amon.
You got an actual camera? With what money? Dad says we can't even afford to buy me a second sweater.
Oh, God! I know, but it's about priorities. You need a real camera to capture real, unmanufactured moments.
Oh man, yeah boys, isn't that absolutely hilarious? Pregnant lady fetishizing? Ha ha ha, that's so fucking fun. Oh my god. See, this is what I mean when I say that this show is not for adults. It's for fucking kids. What grown adult is gonna find this shit hilarious, bro? Comedy-wise, this show only has 2 cards to play. Only 2. Either A, shoving meta-commentary down your throat with the attitude of an arrogant Reddit user with a false sense of intellectual superiority, or B, just brain-dead gross-out humor. That's the only 2 cards they have to play. And it's embarrassing as all fuck to witness. witness, because this show is rubber banding back and forth in its stances. It's trying to act all intellectually superior by insulting all the cliches and tropes of the past with a wildly condescending attitude, and then it immediately proceeds to stoop down to using the absolute bottom of the barrel in terms of comedy. You cannot have it both ways with this. You can't combine a big woke narrative with balls to the wall raunchy comedy. And furthermore, you can't make a TV show that tries to be a weird meta-narrative that criticizes and makes fun of the overused tropes of old-fashioned cartoons, while also being a show that is the ultimate embodiment of everything wrong with modern adult cartoons. What with all this try-hard self-aware PC bullshit? What I want to get at is this. Boys, you see all this? None of this is the type of shit an actual mature grown-ass man would find funny. Only a little kid is gonna sit here and look at this garbage and be like, oh ho ho tee hee, naked pregnant woman, haha. Only a little kid is gonna laugh at two naked girls arguing and fighting. Only a little kid would laugh at cockroaches having sex. Only a goddamn edgy teen would sit here and laugh at all these jokes that are trying way too hard to be self-aware. This is why Velma's comedy falls flatter than Mindy Kaling's ass. Because it's the bottom of the barrel in humor. And what's even worse is that it tries to act all mature and imperious about it too, when in reality it's the most juvenile BS imaginable. Thinking the show is for adults just because it's got cursing and poo-poo pee-pee jokes and nudity is the equivalent of thinking Beastars is for little kids just because it's got cartoon animals in it. By the way, if you let your kid watch Beastars, you need to be sent to prison. Stay tuned, boys. Next video, I am going to explain why everyone, and I mean damn near everyone, hates this effing show. To be continued in part 3. Alright, we've reached the end of the video, so it's time for the Patreon roll call. My $10 supporters are Cute Eater, Duke Dragon Hearthfire the 10th, Jack G, Joseph Vincent, Mr. Threesome, Procrastinator Dave, Syndrin7, and Stormy Knight. And let's not forget our $5 supporters, Dark Damien, Dragonlight Z, Elijah Holland, Phaedra Galaxy, Gigger, Jambo J, Kick Asterisk, Sping Bing Squam Pants, and Zephyr Zodiac. If you'd like to be in the video, fuck me, I cannot talk today. If you'd like to be in the if you'd like to be in the credits as well, just catch me on patreon.com/blacklightjack. Thanks for watching, everybody. Now go watch part 3.